Welcome back to another episode of the Pod Talkin Real Estate. Today we have Miss Linda Cookie Ramsey joining us. Cookie, introduce yourself.
Well, he just did. So my name is Cookie, and I've been in real estate about 6 years now, right here at Lakeland the whole time. Thoroughly enjoy my job here. I don't feel like it's a job, it's a calling.
Well, what inspired you to get into real estate?
Larry Berry. Yep, I come in here.
Me too.
You too? Yeah, I come in here actually looking for an admin job. That's all I've ever done is run corporations and companies. And I come in here looking, for help, see if they needed any help. And he just kind of looked at me and said, "Have you ever thought about doing real estate?" And I said, "Well, I like people, and I would be happy to give it a shot." He said, "Well, why don't you come work for us or come work with us?" And so I stepped out on faith and did the testing and got my license, and best move ever.
Best move ever? Well, since you've been in here a little while, 6 years, you say, what's your favorite part about it?
I love every aspect of this job. There's not one thing about helping somebody find a new home or helping a client sell their property. There's nothing about it I don't like. I do not have a job. I don't work. I just love what I do. So I wake up every day excited to get to go do what I have to do today, and I just love every bit of it.
Yeah, well, you are local here to Northeast Oklahoma, right? Mm-hmm. Well, so what is your favorite part about Northeast Oklahoma?
Oh, definitely the lakes. Lake Hudson is my favorite. We used to come here camping, bring our kids here to camp, and fell in love with the lake. I've been on lakes my whole life. I've been skiing since I was 8 and driving a boat before I was driving a car, and had my first boat by the time I was 20, so I'm a lake baby. And we decided we wanted to retire here. So we moved early so our kids could kind of get acclimated to the area before they got out of the house and raised their own kids and moved away. So they're here local. But it's Lake Hudson. I love showing homes on Grand Lake and Lake Hudson and Fort Gibson. I'll even go down to Eufaula, which, some people don't want to go that far, but if it's a lake house, I will go show it.
Oh, yes. So, what are you seeing right now with the current housing market? What are you experiencing? Because everyone kind of has their own experience and their own take on how the market's going. So what's your thoughts?
It's steady but slower than normal. Mm-hmm. However, I just closed one last week, and their interest rate was like 5.5%. It was phenomenal. So now's the time to start really getting serious. I am showing homes. I'm showing a young man homes here locally. He's got a good interest rate that he's looking at as well. So now is the time to get back at it and jump out here and get you a house. There's an actual decent amount of listings. So I'm seeing more houses for sale. So that's always a positive for the buyers.
Yeah, our inventory, especially in this past 2 months or so, as slowly started building and building and building. So there's a lot more options for people out there right now versus what there was a year and a half ago.
There really is.
So you walk us through your typical approach when you're meeting a new client or going to show a house for the first time. What's your... Everyone kind of has their own kind of unique how they go about it and what their personal steps are. So what's kind of your approach to that? Well,
my name is Cookie, so the very first thing that I do is I bring them a giant cookie, because people meet people all day long. You forget names. You forget I'm not very good with names, so I bring them this giant cookie, and that helps them remember me. They may not remember my name, but they remember it from the cookie. So that's the first thing I do, and it does seem to be something people really like. And I make sure I get good high dollar, good nice quality cookies too. And no, I don't bake them myself. But after that, I walk them through the buyer broker agreement, and I let them know, you know what, we're going to make this agreement for just today because you don't know me. I don't want you to feel like you are tied to me, that you have to use me. I want you to like me to use me. And that way you can use somebody else the next time you want to show a house or see a house. If you like what I'm doing or how I'm helping you, then absolutely I want you to call me back. And then we go into showing homes. Of course, the main thing with first-time home buyers is, are they pre-approved? I think every first-time home buyer needs to know, start there.
Perfect. You went on to my next question. I didn't even have to ask it. It was going to be, what do you think clients need to know before they start the buying process? So
Get that pre-approval.
Get that pre-approval
first. Yeah. It just makes the buying process smoother and cleaner and easier when they know. If we go show them 5 houses at $300,000 and then they get their pre-approval for only $250,000, I've wasted their time. I've wasted the seller's time. And I'm not about wasting time. I like to do things, quick and easy and get it done right. So if we know where your buying power is, then we can tweak your viewings to that purchase price.
So, for specifically a first-time home buyer, what are some key steps or tips that you kind of recommend to them, or that you just think first-time home buyers in general that could be watching right now? What's some things that you want to make known to them?
Well, that it is a long, drawn-out process. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, and it's going to take 30 to 45 days minimum. And if you get anxious or in a hurry, we're going to skip steps. Things are going to get missed and left out that are vital. So listen to your real estate agent. Find one that you like and that you trust. That's vital. You don't want to try to navigate this process by yourself. There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
For sure.
Mm. And you probably found that out yourself.
Yes. Working with myself and then some clients recently, there's certainly... And every transaction's different.
It is.
So you never know how exactly what's going to come up, what's going to happen. So it's always good to be there and to understand it. And I mean, even though I am a licensed real estate agent and this is my job, there's new stuff that pop up. You're not going to learn it all in school. Every transaction, you're going to have to learn something from it. So it's good for you to have a real estate agent that's willing to learn as well. I'm sure 1,000 memories might come to your head, but do you have anything probably recently that stuck out that you're like, that's memorable, something you remember, or some challenge or unique thing that's happened that you've overcame?
Well, I think every single purchase or sale has something come up. Mm-hmm. There's never been one exactly like another one. Some of them are a lot smoother. Some of them have hiccups. There's always deadlines to meet. Sometimes we have to extend, a closing, and that's the hardest. Trying to have to extend. It puts everybody in a bad place, Mm-hmm. So I try to coach my sellers or buyers. Don't hire the moving company for the day of closing. Let's make sure when we get there we actually close. But every single solitary transaction is different. So
yeah,
I could tell you 1,000 stories.
Mm-hmm. Well, so you kind of hit on this a few minutes ago, but what types of properties do you get most excited about showing? Is there anything or any areas that you're like, oh, yes?
I tell you what, I like it all. I really do. I have commercial listings. I have land listings. I have lakefront listings. I have residential listings. I love listing everything. I'm not shy about any of it. Now, I'm not the best or the most qualified at commercial, but I am learning. And that's one thing, if I don't know, I will find out the answer. But I like all of it. I love working with first-time home buyers. I love working with the buying side of it all. And I really enjoy the listings. So there's just nothing out there that I won't tackle.
Mm-hmm. So as we know, the real estate process itself, it's a learning process for sure. Yes. For everyone. The best way to learn is experience. But so what are some of the other things that you've done to kind of heighten your real estate experience and kind of possibly put you above some of the other real estate agents?
Well, when I came in, of course, as a newbie, I didn't know much, but I'm a fast learner, and so the first year, you have to do your post-license classes. Well, then once you're in a few years, you do have to be in for 3 years, then you can actually go and do your broker assessment and get your broker's license. I did do that at the third year, and then last year, I did a very extensive course. It's called GRI, and it was pretty long. It's 8 days of sitting in class all day long, and each day was a different topic, and that was very, very extensive, but I absolutely gained from that. I gained information as far as the business end of the real estate business, how to, your taxes, laws, contract law, things along those lines of just that much more knowledge, and being able to be very, very confident in my contract law That was priceless. And then, of course, taxes. We all need to know how to save money on taxes. So that helped tremendously. I think everybody should try that GRI class.
Yeah, I have it on my list to certainly try and jump on, just to kind of get myself familiar with it, and maybe get myself enrolled in some of those classes before too much longer, because I have heard a bunch of good stuff about them.
Well, when you do the GRI, you also have some other things you have to do along with it. And one of those classes was CMA, how to do CMAs. Those are hard. Those are comparative market analysis, and a lot of us struggle with those. So that really kind of honed my skill on the CMAs as well.
Mm-hmm. So, buying and selling a home, it can be pretty emotional, especially for the first-time home buyers, greatly. So how do you kind of sometimes handle some of your clients' emotions? Do you have anything that you can throw out there?
I do, and one of the biggest things, and I've said it multiple times to my clients, look, in this business I've learned, just take a deep breath and step back. Just let's just calm down, and you know what? Think it over for the night. Sometimes just the afternoon, just give yourself some time to calm down. We may not get this offer. What are our next steps? Or hey, they're not negotiating on some of these repairs, but my job is to negotiate, and I feel like I really excel at negotiations because I'm a peacekeeper, I guess. I was the peacekeeper of the family, so it just kind of goes on into this business. So, I feel like I can always find a way to make it work out fair for both sides, not just the selling side or not just the buying side, but for both sides. So really just keeping everybody, just calm down. We'll find a way around it.
So recently, Cookie, you came into the office probably about 2 weeks or so ago, and you had mentioned that you was putting stuff into a trust. So we hear the word probate a lot in real estate, and it's kind of, you ask every agent, and they kind of have a little bit of a different explanation for it. Just because it's hard and it's challenging and it's kind of confusing. So what do you think is the importance, and can you go about what your process was for yourself of putting stuff into a trust, so that way you completely eliminate probate in general?
That's exactly right. Probate is when your loved one's passed away, and even with the will, it has to go through probate. And probate is you got to hire lawyers, you got to take everything to the judge, and then the judge decides who gets what. That's what it's all about, and it costs money. So first off, it's expensive to go through probate. Even with the will, unfortunately, you still have to go through probate. Well, in this business, I've seen what it's done to families, and I've seen how it's hard on the family to have to wait to sell the property that's now costing you money out of your pocket. Mom and dad had a mortgage, they didn't pay it off, and they don't have enough insurance to cover everything, so now it's up to you to pay everything off. So it can be very, very tragic and detrimental. First, you've lost a loved one. Now you have to deal with the aftermath. Well, the for sure way around it is to get a trust. And seeing what I see, I decide we don't have much. My little family, we don't have much. But I decided I didn't want my children to have to ever go through that, because we're getting up into the retirement age. Well, not quite, but we're getting closer. And so I thought, why not get ready? And so simple thing, you go down to the lawyer, they set up a trust, you put all of your belongings in the trust. Now the trust owns it, and the home, the cars, trucks, boats, whatever, we got all of that kind of stuff, put it all in the trust. And so if anything happens to myself or my husband, of course we're the trustees now, but if anything happens to us, my children become the trustees immediately. That means the day after I pass away, if my children want to sell my cool Jeep, they can. If they want to put a for sale sign out in front of my lakefront property, guys, just so you know, now I'm just teasing, they can, with no lawyers. They are not going to be out of pocket for anything. If you still have a mortgage, yes, they still have to keep the mortgage payment, but you can sell that property immediately. Yeah. You don't have to wait. And probates can take up to 6 to 8 months. So it's immediate. And it's just a good protection for your family. It's the best way to protect what you have for the next generation, so they can then do with what they want to. So
was it really that simple? You go down, get a lawyer, set up a trust, pretty much list off everything, and you're done?
That was it.
Well,
I mean, then they take and they bind the warranty deed on my property and then changed it. You know, we did have to file a new deed, which the lawyer did all that. I mean, which is easy to do. You know, you just go to the courthouse and file it. Truly, we spent probably 30 minutes with the lawyer, and then we went back and we signed the documents, and that was it.
Well, that was a lot more. I really didn't think it was that simple. I thought there was more to that as well. So that is good to know.
Now, when we go to purchase something new, to be able to purchase it and get it in the trust, we purchase it in the trust's name. So the name of our trust is our name. You know, like Linda Ramsey Irrevocable Trust. That's the name of the trust. So when I go purchase something new, it will be in that trust's name.
Perfect. So let's kind of go outside of real estate a little bit. So if you could go back in time from when you started your career, what advice would you give to yourself?
Hold on, because man, is it a roller coaster ride. It is the best job. And I've had, like I said, I've worked for corporations, I've worked for companies, I've made a lot of money for a lot of other people, and this is by far the best thing I've ever done for myself.
Perfect.
I just wish I could go back 20 years and start over and do it then.
So so you started real estate 6 years ago, so 2018 or 2017, 2018?
2018.
So what was the market like in 2018?
It was crazy busy. Nothing like during COVID, though. I mean, my first year, I mean, I know a lot of people do different dollars and values, but I mean, when I sold over 20 homes my first year and I hit that 3 million mark, I'd have never believed it, you know, and ever since then, it's just been crazy busy. I've sold hundreds and hundreds of homes now and absolutely love it. But yeah, the first year was very spooky because I had no income, and I've always had an income. And so I stepped out on faith with no paycheck coming in. It was very scary. But with Larry and Stephanie here, and Donna Barnes was here, they just helped me, you know. They just walked me through, Donna, the very first time, I come in, she said, okay, go sell your house. And got me on the computer, said, sell your house. And so walked me through how to sell it. And then I got that all done. And she said, okay, now go buy your house. You know, and I think that simple process of going through the paperwork and all the documents was tremendous for me.
Yeah, as a kind of newer real estate agent myself, that was the biggest obstacle for me first getting in, is understanding all the paperwork and figuring out what everything means. And I'm still learning. To this day, I still learn. Mainly because the documents are still changing. It seems like every couple months we have something new that we have to throw in there.
And every transaction's different.
Yeah.
I've got some that you won't, documents that you would have on a commercial that you don't necessarily get on a listing or sale of a home, is like a non-disclosure agreement. You know, you're going to find new documents for different types of transactions that you've got to, every transaction's different.
Yeah, for sure. I got to experiment with, for my first time a month or so ago, about an escalation clause.
Oh.
As a selling agent, I had received an escalation clause on a property, but it was my first time writing one up, so that was a little bit different for me, and I had to kind of learn how to word it right and how to get everything in there right. But it was certainly,
those are very important documents that you know, when you come to the escalation clause, you could, you know, really create a problem for your buyer if you don't understand what that document's all about.
Well, alrighty. So what is something surprising or unusual about your daily routine that you do every single day that someone might not know?
That's a good question. I don't really, I'm pretty down to earth and simple. I don't think I have anything unusual. What about you?
No. She's trying to turn it on me. No.
No? Is there anything on your business that you do that people wouldn't realize you do?
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
I check my email and my messages 24/7. That right there is,
actually last week I had some people come up into the racetrack at the restaurant, and they said, I didn't know you was a real estate agent. And these are regulars that come in every single week, and I'm friends with them on Facebook now, but I wasn't. And I was just like, yeah. And they said, yeah, I went down to the office the other day and was talking to Mike Epperson. I just happened to look over and I seen your card over there. And they said, if I would have known that, I would have just called you. And I'm like, well, so I kind of explained to them how I'm not fully putting myself out there right now. But I was just like, dang, I missed out on possible sale right there just because I didn't make it known.
So why are you not putting yourself out there?
Well, just because I'm in college full time right now, and I want to make that my top priority, and I don't want to get too busy with the real estate market or my real estate career, so that way I put that out. I don't want to put college off to the side and not worry about it. I want to get done with that, and thankfully, after next spring, I'll be almost completely done, so then that way I can focus more towards this. But
are you going to do this full time?
I hope to. I hope the market's in a spot.
I think you'd be fantastic at it full time.
I hope I can afford to, and I hope the market's where it's at. I mean, I'm doing all right now, which of course, once I get out of college, I'm hoping that I can up my income just a little bit. But
yeah.
Just wherever the road, I don't have any particular plan right now. Real estate's always been my plan, so I'm hoping it can stay. I'm hoping it can stay my plan, and I don't have to venture off into something new. I'm liking it, and like I said, I learn more and more every day. So hopefully, come next year, I can be like jump in full swing. But
I think you're going to be, well, you are good at this job, but I think when you actually put forth the effort and do this full time, I think you're going to really be surprised.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Well you do. Yeah, no, I have no doubt.
So, Cookie, what are your go-to ways to unwind?
Oh, this is not a good question because I just don't.
You don't?
I do not.
Not sitting on the porch? You're not a coffee person, but just sitting on the porch?
Well, in the morning, I'm trying to watch my coffee, but I do sit on the back porch and have coffee. Try to do it once or twice a week. Church is probably my number one thing that I do for absolute just shut off the world. I go to church 3 times a week faithfully and love our little church over here in Choteau. So I, spend a lot of my downtime doing things for the church and, church activities.
Well, Cookie, thank you for joining us, and I hope that we could help out some of our viewers and kind of get them a little more inside look of what we do at Lakeland and cover some topics that we haven't really covered yet. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. It was thoroughly enjoyable. I always enjoy having conversations with you. And you guys, if you need a good agent, I tell you what, either one of us would do you a fine job.
Perfect. Yep, just give us a call at the office and we'll be happy to help you out. Have a good day.
Thank you.